The three major causes of loss of life in pleasure boating accidents are capsizings, sinkings, and falls overboard. Of annual fatalities, capsizings account for more than 47%, or over 600 lives. Many of these lives might be saved if boatmen knew and remembered a little bit of how and why their boats float, and a few things to do, or not to do, to keep them afloat. A good place to start is with an understanding of the very basic principle of buoyancy, as it applies to the average pleasure boat. Buoyancy is the upward force exerted upon an immersed body by a fluid. Buoyancy is what makes a boat float. As an empty boat is placed in the water, a buoyant force is exerted on the hull to keep it afloat at the depth where it has displaced a volume of water equal to its own weight. At this point, the force of buoyancy is equal to the force of gravity. If weight is added to the boat, it settles deeper into the water until the force of buoyancy and the force of gravity are once again equal. As the load forces a boat deeper into the water, the freeboard, or hull area above the waterline, is reduced. Overloading can cause the freeboard to be reduced to the danger point. Every boat, large or small, has a safe load capacity. This is the point where the forces of gravity and the buoyancy are equal with enough freeboard left for safe operation. The buoyant force which makes a boat float also attempts to keep it stable and upright. When a boat is properly loaded with the weight evenly distributed, the buoyant force is exerted equally on the underwater surfaces of the hull. Unbalance the load, and the buoyant force shifts to resist the unbalanced condition, attempting to keep the boat from capsizing. Unbalance the load still more, and despite the buoyant force, stability is decreased and freeboard reduced dangerously on the heavy side of the boat. In this condition, a boat can very easily be capsized. Proper fore and aft balance should also be maintained in a boat. Poor longitudinal distribution of weight can also result in loss of stability and reduce bow or stern freeboard to the danger point. The stability of a boat can also be reduced by poor vertical distribution of an otherwise safe load. The basic rule is, the higher the load, the less the stability, like standing up in a rocking chair. This rocking chair effect can rock you right into the cradle of the deep if you aren't very careful. Remember the old familiar cry of, "Sit down, you're rocking the boat." Stability of a boat is also directly related to the water plane area. This man moving too far forward in a small boat is working against the small water plane area under the narrow bow. Moving his weight to the stern of the boat, he's working against a much larger water plane area under the wide stern section of the hull. Another factor contributing to capsizing is water in the boat. This loose water, as it is commonly called, may be a result of leaks, rainfall, or spray taken aboard in rough water operation. Under static conditions, loose water is simply added weight which reduces freeboard. However, when any outside force, such as rough water, maneuvering or shifting of the load, causes the boat to list, the water runs to the low side and further reduces freeboard and stability. Unlike solid weight, loose water continues to shift and prolong the unstable and often unsafe condition. Always remember, no matter what size or shape, boats have greater stability when they are not overloaded, when they are free of loose water, and have their proper load evenly distributed low in the hull. Observe these basic rules, and you probably won't be one of the almost 700 boatmen each year who find out about capsizing the hard way. In addition to capsizings, sinkings cause a great loss of life in boating accidents. Average figures show that more than 100 lives are lost in this manner each year. Enough water to sink a boat may be taken aboard in many ways, most of which can be prevented by a safety-conscious boat operator. By spray or water coming aboard from running too fast in rough water, or by poor distribution or shifting of weight in a boat, resulting in loss of freeboard on one side. It doesn't take a crowd. One or two people can create a potential sinking situation in a small boat. Enough water to cause sinking can also be taken aboard through failure of the hull structure, by damage or deterioration, starting of a plank, holing, poor caulking, or unswelled planking. In rough weather, caulking may be driven out by pounding or vibration while underway, especially at high speed. Failure of fittings may also result in taking excess water into the boat. A defective cooling hose, faulty piece of pipe, or broken plumbing fitting, a loose rudder post, or shaft log that's lost its packing. Even water back siphoned through the exhaust of an inboard engine. Taking on water doesn't necessarily mean loss of the boat by sinking if prompt action is taken. Emergency repairs to stop the intake of water, followed by any of several methods of dewatering, will often keep a boat afloat until safety of the beach or of a dock can be reached. The best method of dewatering is adequate power-operated pumps, but in their absence, hand pumps will do the job. There are also any number of different hand bailers available, some of commercial design, others which can be improvised in an emergency. Even if the boat isn't in danger of sinking, excess water should be removed for safe operation, since such loose water reduces stability. Remember, sinkings account for loss of over 100 lives each year. The third major cause of fatalities in pleasure boating is falls overboard. Whoops, almost missed that one. Let's see it again. Now, as we were saying, falls overboard are a major type of pleasure boating accident, taking more than 300 lives each year. Over half of these falls are caused by loss of balance due to wave action, slippery decks, or unexpected moves of boat or other passengers, or any combination of these causes. Many other falls overboard result from careless or reckless boat operation, of boat operators not checking to make sure that all persons are properly seated before getting underway. Falls overboard are also caused by irresponsible or reckless boat handling. The all too familiar water cowboy going too fast in rough water, making violent, unnecessary maneuvers and sudden stops or starts. Some of this irresponsible operation can be attributed to intoxication. Improper handling or lifting of heavy objects in a boat or alongside the dock contributes its share to falls overboard and, in many instances, loss of life. Like all other types of boating accidents, there are simple but effective preventative measures and precautions which can be taken to keep falls overboard to a minimum. Beware of slippery decks. Keep low and well balanced when working or lifting heavy objects, and be careful and considerate of the other fellow. Avoid standing up in small boats except when necessary. Move about carefully and stay to the center line of the boat as much as possible. Whether standing or sitting, always try to anticipate any sudden move of the boat, whether it be from rough water, maneuvering, or the wake of another boat. In spite of best efforts and intentions, someone may fall overboard from your boat or one nearby, so always be prepared. One of the best safety precautions is to teach all members of the family to swim. Swimming is not only fun, but provides an extra margin of safety, just in case. You may never need that extra margin of safety, or wind up like this. If you remember the fundamentals of how and why a boat floats, and some of the ways to keep it that way. The most basic of these fundamentals is the force of buoyancy, the force that keeps a boat afloat. Added weight forces a boat deeper into the water, reducing freeboard as it goes. Add enough weight, and you'll eventually sink, even if the weight is properly distributed. You can hasten the capsizing or sinking process by unequal distribution of weight. Uneven loading is dangerous, even if your boat is not overloaded. Remember, in rough water, excessive amounts of spray or water are easily heard while underway, especially at high speeds. Water may also be taken in through hull damage or around fittings. No matter how it comes aboard, it causes loss of freeboard and greatly reduces stability, both highly conducive to sinking or capsizing. Keep in mind also the ever-present danger of falling overboard. Watch your footing and keep weight low and as near the center line of the boat as possible when working or moving about. Watch your step when boarding or departing, and be considerate of others in your boat. Play it safe. Don't overload or unbalance your load. Keep life jackets on all non-swimmers, and keep everyone seated while underway. Operate your boat safely and enjoy the pleasure of boating. Don't become a boating accident statistic.
Well, that doesn't look right at all. Holy cow. It's super dark. This webcam. Man. I'm working on getting better lighting. But hey, I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. Funny story about that film is I showed that in conjunction with the Alamo Draft House on an actual boat. We did a screening on a pontoon boat in near Austin on Lake Travis. And actually, people in attendance were some people that actually work for the Department of Parks and I guess the water safety people, because Austin is the state capital. So they were there kind of enjoying what was going on, and they were telling me stories about capsizing and horrible boating accidents. Lake Travis, you might remember from earlier this year, is where the Trump boat parade took place, and there were many capsizings and people falling off of boats. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But yeah, there was not a lot of boat safety being practiced during that time. So I'll just leave it at that. Wow, this is really annoying. It's so weird. And this is totally the webcam. Anyways, so I show old 16mm films. And this one I actually showed on 16. So right here is the telecine. And this is where the film gate is and all that, and so I can start rewinding, and you can see it like actually going. But yeah, I show old 16mm films to folks like you. Recently, I started showing some film strips, and this is something that I'll probably do at the end of the show. I haven't decided what I want to do. This next film that I do want to show, because I was like, well, maybe I'll just show a film strip next. I'm like, no. I don't want to bust the vibe. This next film is not from my collection, but it's from another film collector who's based in Houston. It's Paul Nelson and his wife Elizabeth Nelson, and they used to do screenings under the name Cinema Bomar in Houston at different locations. And I've been digitizing some of their films and scanning them, and this one is of particular interest to me because it's about regionally what was happening in North Carolina. This is a promotional film for a laundromat chain. It's promoting not going to the laundromat, but buying a franchise in the laundromat. This is Glamorama. And there were quite a few Glamoramas in Raleigh. Now almost all of them are gone. The last one disappeared like 5 years ago and is now a vape shop, I think. But I think there's still a couple of Glamoramas in Fayetteville area, around there, North Carolina. So here it is. Maybe you'll be excited to own a laundromat franchise. Here's Glamorama.
Glamorama, your prestige cleaner. 3 hours service to make your shirt clean. 1 hour cleaning to make your clothes clean. Glamorama. Your prestige cleaner.
Now I'd like to have you meet Mr. Laval Levinson, President of Banner Machinery Corporation. Mr. Levinson.
As President of Banner Machinery Corporation, it is with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce you to this documentary film which will tell you a little bit about us here at Banner Machinery Corporation and will expressly enlighten you on the highly successful Glamorama franchises which are already in operation.
30 years ago, small neighborhood merchants depended on their friends and neighbors for their profits. Laundry and dry cleaning establishments were large, block-sized buildings with many employees and hot, cumbersome equipment. Prices, volumes, and locations were generally of minor importance due to lack of densely populated areas and lack of dependable and independent transportation. These places were adequate for their place in history. Populations have become more centrally located. Transportation has become generally available to make the population mobile, and large chain store merchants have proven the effectiveness of high turnover, low prices, and merchandising know-how. Equipment in all fields, and especially in clothes cleaning, has become many times more compact and efficient. Generally, the small neighborhood merchants have not fared well, except where they have adapted to new mass shopping centers and or advertising techniques. Glamorama is meeting this need. As we look into the future, we see still more increases in populations, more mobility of individuals, and more changes in disposition of spendable income. The profits of the future will belong to those who can offer fast, friendly, and convenient services with proven merchandising techniques. A good franchise gives the independent businessman instant reputation, proven merchandising techniques, area advertising, complete training and retraining as needed, mass buying power, and all the other benefits that have made today's large chains a success. In fact, a franchise allowing the franchisee to combine all the advantages of a large chain operation with running a privately owned and operated business, which gives personal customer care. These advantages are all realized with a minimum investment on the part of the franchisee. Glamorama Incorporated offers the franchise key to a successful, profitable business in the fast-growing laundry and dry cleaning industry. A Glamorama franchise has become the most valuable franchise in this area due to our completeness of service and more than 30 years' experience in all phases of laundry and dry cleaning operations. When you become a Glamorama franchisee, you get the benefit of this experience right from store location selection through plant layout, equipment selection, construction, installation, complete on-the-job training of all your personnel, to your grand opening and supervision until your business is running smoothly and profitably. In addition, you'll get follow-up training in new techniques of mass advertising and the opportunity to buy many supplies at mass purchase prices. Glamorama has 3 basic plans, any one of which is custom-tailored to the needs and size of your market. All can be expanded for further services as your businesses become more profitable. Investments vary depending upon the size of your operation and potential business in an area. Glamorama has the know-how and resources. We need your association, since your success means our success. See us today and find out how we can work together for greater profits. Now let's look at the 3 basic plans offered by Glamorama. First of all, the Glamorama Cleaning Center is a low-cost, compact neighborhood professional plant suitable for location in its own building or in a shopping center. The store is operated with a minimum number of employees depending on the volume of business. Employees are trained by us in all phases of cleaning, spotting, pressing, packaging, and equipment care and maintenance. As a Glamorama franchisee, you receive a complete training program under actual working conditions right in your own store until all is running smoothly. We also help you select the best quality and quantity of the many brands of supplies. A Glamorama program is complete in every way, and our trained personnel assure the success of your dry cleaning operation. The Glamorama Combination Store completely meets the demand for one-stop service on all dry cleaning and laundry needs. This type of store combines the Glamorama Dry Cleaning Center and shirt laundry with the Glamorama coin-op into one efficient, profitable operation. Your customers can come to the Glamorama Combination Store, leave their dry cleaning to be dry cleaned and pressed professionally, or do it themselves in the coin-op cleaner and have it pressed professionally. At the same time, they can, while using the coin-op, have items dry cleaned and pressed or washed and pressed while they are drying and folding the remainder of their laundry. They can then return home with all their laundry and dry cleaning taken care of at one stop. Customers may, of course, utilize any part of this store for just laundry and dry cleaning needs, either done professionally or in the coin-op machines. The Glamorama Combination Store is the best in our franchise program. While it is the more expensive in initial investment, it is by far the most profitable and efficient setup to own and operate. The Glamorama Coin-Op is a self-service cash and carry business. You can start your coin-op with a minimum investment, no special skills, a minimum of time and effort, and relatively low overhead expenses. And you can reap handsome profits from your investment. This is Glamorama in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and we'd like to have you meet at this time the franchise owner, Mr. A.K. Bailey. And how long have you been in business here at this location in Chapel Hill?
We'll be in business on September the 27th, 1 year.
Then it's just about a couple of weeks away.
That's right.
And let me ask you this question first of all, Mr. Bailey. Is the return on your investment here in Chapel Hill at this Glamorama franchise as much as Banner Machinery evidence to you that it would be?
Yes, sir, I think so.
Business is going good. Were you in the dry cleaning business before you opened this?
No, sir.
And if you were to open another dry cleaning establishment, would it be Glamorama?
Yes, sir.
That's very fine. I notice you have quite a good-sized coin-op next door to the dry cleaning plant here. Can you tell us something about it?
Well, we think we got one of the nicest one anywhere around, and we're enjoying a good business from it.
How many washers do you have?
We have 26 washers and 12 dryers and one dry cleaning unit.
Mr. Bailey, it's a wonderful establishment you have here. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I know that with school opening very shortly, business will be even better. Thank you very much. It's good to talk to you. This is Glamorama in the Queen City of Charlotte, at the corner of Crescent and Providence. An excellent location, and we're happy to have you meet Mr. Sam Gould, who has only been here 3 weeks. but it is a beautiful establishment, and in talking to Sam, we believe he's going to have a very excellent future here. How are you today, Sam?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Very good, thank you. Sam, I couldn't help noticing, as we go around talking to the Glamorama folks, the wonderful automation that each and every one of the stores has. And I wonder if you would show us, and me in particular, because I'm fascinated by it, just exactly, and explain just exactly how this serving apparatus works.
Well, this is a fairly simple operation. It's a tremendous time saver. When the customer comes in, we have a number that's assigned to the garment, and we turn this dial to the garment number.
Would you operate that for us?
Yes, surely. In this case, 530. We set the dial to 530, push the button, and it automatically comes to us. In the meantime, we can go over to this other dial, which is for shirts, and set it, and while one is running, get the other one in position.
This is the Glamorama franchise in Garner, North Carolina. Glamorama Garner, owned by Mr. W.R. Goodwin, who has been here a number of years and has a wonderful business here. Banner Machinery Company and Mr. Goodwin have established a coin-op here, which is beautiful. Everything works wonderfully well, and also a dry cleaning plant. And I'd like to have you meet Mr. W.R. Goodwin, and I want to ask you, first of all, Mr. Goodwin, is the return on your investment as great as Banner Machinery Company evidence that it would be when you went into business?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's just fine. Now, another question. If you were going into the dry cleaning business, would Glamorama be your choice if you were going to do it again?
Yes, sir. They've been real nice.
And before becoming a Glamorama franchise owner, had you ever been in the dry cleaning business before?
No, didn't know a thing about it. We've built up quite a nice business.
Everything works well in here, I'm sure.
Yes.
We're now in the very busy coin-op section of Mr. W.R. Goodwin's Glamorama franchise here in Garner, North Carolina. It's a beautiful establishment, lots of wonderful machinery, and everything is working well and humming here, as you can see. I'd like to have you meet Mrs. Linda Huggins of Garner, who has been coming to this franchise establishment for some little time. Would you tell us how long you've been coming?
Well, I've been here for about 9 months now.
And you come here whenever you have some laundry to do?
Yes, I usually come once or twice a week, using maybe as many as 5 or 6 machines.
And you say you use 4 or 5 machines at a time?
Yes.
Well, what size family do you have?
There are only 2 of us.
Banner Machinery Corporation of Benson, North Carolina, is a completely unique organization in that it is one of the few companies of its kind that deals exclusively in dry cleaning and laundering equipment, and is also fully prepared and equipped for the repair and maintenance of laundry and dry cleaning machinery. Vice President David Wilkie oversees the operation of a smooth-running and efficient organization, staffed with individuals having years of experience, persons who by training and efficiency are running a first-class operation to enable Banner to retain the enviable position it holds in the field of laundry and dry cleaning service and equipment. We have the largest display of laundry and dry cleaning machinery in the East. Our stock runs the gamut of the latest and most modern in this type of machinery. We are quite proud of the fact that our parts department carries the largest stock of spare parts for the proper maintenance of laundry and dry cleaning machinery in the entire southeastern United States. Our staff of draftsmen is particularly adept at designing and making layouts for the establishment of Glamorama locations due to their special training in the art of making sure your plant is set up and operating at peak efficiency, ensuring greater profits from minimum investment. On those occasions when repair or replacement services are needed, our mechanics, with their high degree of skill, are equipped by training and experience, coupled with the availability of the finest tools to maintain and repair complicated machinery, to keep it operating with minimum downtime at maximum efficiency. We especially pride ourselves on our reputation of servicing what we sell. Our geographical location is particularly suited to the job of getting to the customer with what he needs when he needs it. This service is unique with Banner Machinery Corporation. Your success is Glamorama's success. Our job doesn't end with the original sale, but grows as your business grows. And we put our experience and knowledge to work for you. Let's talk today. It's an exciting story. The folks at Glamorama are constantly on the lookout for ideal plant locations. Actual surveys of traffic flow, area population, income, competition, area expansion, potential, and so forth, are made to enhance your chances of success. Glamorama helps you select the size and shape building best suited to the particular operation you plan to run. We work with architects, shopping centers, and so forth to assure you proper building design and services. In some cases, you may even be able to lease directly from us. All equipment needed is engineered to assure maximum work output at lowest possible cost. We represent the nation's leading manufacturers of laundry and dry cleaning equipment. Scientifically engineered plans are worked up to combine maximum workflow with a minimum of labor. Our skilled layout also provides a traffic flow to please customers and expedite service. Correctly installed equipment can help avoid future trouble, extra expense, and poor efficiency. Glamorama personnel supervise or completely install your equipment. Glamorama personnel are available readily to consult on any problems you may encounter. Their vast experience and know-how are available to help you find solutions. Glamorama can help you arrange suitable financing for any or all equipment you may need for whatever type store you decide to operate. To complete your image, your Glamorama must be promoted and advertised to attract customers. Glamorama Incorporated provides materials and plans for merchandising your grand opening day, as well as proven ideas for other day-to-day business building and special occasions. A professionally prepared accounting system is available to you as part of your Glamorama franchise at minimum charge.
Here in New Bern, North Carolina, we're at the Glamorama franchise at the Triangle Plaza Shopping Center talking to the owner, Mr. Frank Volney. Frank, would you tell us something about your Glamorama establishment here? It is a beautiful setup right here in New Bern.
We have 20 washers, single-load cord warners on the coin side, 4 double loaders and 1 triple loader, with 10 dryers to handle a load on what I consider to be an equitable split of roughly 2-to-1 dryers to washers.
Tell me this. You were not in the dry cleaning business before you opened up here?
No, sir. This is my first experience with it. I definitely do not intend to sit still with one store.
Well, then you very definitely have high hopes for the future of your Glamorama establishment, as well as any other future plans you might have and other folks who would attempt to get into this.
Well, I feel that this store will probably gross somewhere approaching $3 million during the term of our lease.
That's very good. We're now at the Glamorama franchise of Mr. David Paramore, and we have a couple of questions we'd like to ask you, Mr. Paramore. First of all, are you realizing the return from your investment that Banner Machinery Company evidenced that you would?
Yes, I am.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Number two, I'd like to ask you, had you ever been in the dry cleaning business before you opened up this Glamorama franchise here in Kinston?
Yes, I have.
And you are very satisfied with this one?
Yes, very much. Has been very satisfactory for me. I'm well pleased.
This is the Glamorama franchise put in here by the Banner Machinery Company of Benson at Dunn, North Carolina. I want you to meet Mr. James Searles this morning. He has a wonderful operation here. James, tell us something about your great establishment here in Dunn, the Glamorama cleaning plant.
Well, I'm mighty happy that I've decided about 3 years ago or 34 months ago to go into the dry cleaning business. I never had any experience before in this field, but now that I'm in it, I just love every minute of it.
Well, let me ask you this question first and foremost, and this is very important. Are you realizing, of course you say you've been here 3 years, the answer seems to be pretty obvious to me, but for everybody looking in. Are you realizing the profit that Banner evidenced that you would when you went into business?
I definitely am, Bob. That is the part that I enjoy so much about it. It's so rewarding.
You have to work quite hard.
You have to work kind of hard, but it certainly it is rewarding for the work that you do.
Now, you say you have not been in the dry cleaning business prior to opening this place.
No, sir. I never did anything other than just take my clothes in and out of dry cleaners in town and done.
Well, the answer to the next question, then, I guess, is obvious. if you were to open up another dry cleaning establishment, would it be Glamorama?
It definitely would be the same type of equipment, dealing with the same type of people I did before, Bob. They've been wonderful to me.
Thank you, James Searles. It's been a pleasure talking to you here in Dunn, North Carolina.
Thank you, Bob.
Glamorama, your prestige cleaner. 3 hours service to make your shirt clean. 1 hour cleaning to make your clothes clean. Glamorama.
Well, I'm sold. That song is what makes it so great for me. I really enjoy that jingle because it has whistling in it and all this other stuff. But yeah, that was obviously not shot by people who are film professionals or professionals in interviewing other people. So, but I figured that some of the viewers who are based in North Carolina would enjoy seeing that and maybe have distant memories of Glamorama. God, I felt like I saw Glamorama within the last year. Maybe it was in Greenville, North Carolina. Maybe. Anyways, so seeing these little locations of Glamoramas in small town America makes me think about this next film, which is infiltration of small town America. But instead of by franchise laundromats, it's communists. So here's Jack Webb to explain it all to us.
Америки папиросы, они очень хорошие.
Speak English, comrade. Remember, that is about the only freedom you do not have in this town. It's American town.
Americans, they have too many freedoms.
That is another thing you must remember, comrade. For one day it will be your mission to destroy those bourgeois capitalist freedoms.
Frightening, isn't it? From all appearances, this community could be in Iowa, California, or Tennessee. It looks like an American town. As American as apple pie and ice cream. As a matter of fact, you can find apple pie here and ice cream too. But appearances are deceptive. This is not an American town. However, it may be assumed that such a town does exist, shrouded in secrecy and protected by utmost security, deep behind the Iron Curtain. You might call this a college town, communist style, as part of a long-range plan to destroy our free way of life. These young communists are studying the economic, political, and religious institutions that are the very heartbeat of America. The courses here in this strangest of all schools: espionage as a science, propaganda as an art, sabotage as a business. This nameless American city, deep in the vastness of the Soviet Union. It stands as a symbol of Russian treachery, of long-range communist conspiracy. This town may appear to be an accurate likeness of a typical American community, but it's a fraud. It isn't free. Now, let's take a look at a genuine American town and a genuine American. I want you to meet Jerry Donovan. He's proud of his country, but prone to take his liberties for granted. Oh, he's aware that someone must assume responsibility for those liberties, for our free way of life. Yet, when there's a job to be done, Jerry, like so many Americans, is apt to ask, why me?
Anybody home? Well, hi there, partners. What? Hey, what is this?
You bad guy, take away our land.
What?
He's on the warpath. You better send for the cavalry. Take him prisoner. Tie him up on hill of red ants.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I don't happen to like ants.
You sit on ant hill.
Now, you got this all wrong. You see, I happen to be a good guy.
Sit.
Yes, sir.
Hey, where are you going? Get him honey. Ants love honey.
Oh, now, just
All right,
a minute.
all right, Indians, time to wash up. Dinner's almost ready. Right now. Dessert in the wigwam later.
Oh, come on.
Well, you saved me from a fate worse than death.
Oh?
How come we're even been so early tonight?
Well, don't you remember you have a union committee meeting tonight? I just want to make sure you could make it.
They don't expect me. I told them that your folks were coming here for dinner tonight.
Oh, honey, Mom and Dad aren't due in for another week yet. Now you have plenty of time for the meeting, right?
Helen, you don't understand. I knew that your folks weren't going to be here tonight.
You knew? Well, then why all the
I
nonsense?
just told that to the fellas to keep from going tonight.
Oh.
Besides, my favorite TV show is on. Wouldn't want me to miss that, would you? Would you?
Well, Jerry, you missed the last meeting. Don't you think you should be there?
Honey, nothing ever happens at those meetings. Just a bunch of guys sitting around listening to themselves talk. Now, the important thing that really has me worried
No.
is what's for dinner tonight, stew or hamburger.
Ha, ha, ha. There.
Oh, boy.
You like that?
That smells good.
I thought so. Jerry, would you say that I was a nag?
Oh, no more than average.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to be just this once.
Why?
Well, this morning you told me that you wouldn't be able to make the PTA meeting next Wednesday, right?
That is right. Old Mrs. Potter reminds me of a lovesick hippo. Besides, Wednesday's my bowling night.
Oh, Jerry, can't you think of anything besides bowling and television?
Well, the way you talk about that PTA, you'd think it was some kind of a hush-hush government meeting to determine the future of the nation. They can struggle along without me.
Well, what about Jimmy's father-son banquet tomorrow night? He's been counting on that for weeks, you know that.
Well, now, that is different. Wouldn't miss that for the whole world. Besides, I wrote my speech already.
Oh?
Yeah, I've been rehearsing it all week. Listen to this. Members of Troop 28 are gathered here tonight to discuss the ways and means of finding homes for Trooper Ryan's 6 new collie pups. How's that sound?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, I can hear them applauding already.
Well,
no,
thank
listen,
you.
just one more question. Just one. What about your reserve meeting, your next one? You missed the last one, and you missed the one. Well, honey, you
go to
did.
all of those. All right, I'll tell you what. I will talk to my secretary in the morning and find out if my schedule will permit me to go to the next one. Would you quit bugging me?
Bill Martin's here. I asked him to stay for dinner.
Hey, that's good. I wanted to talk to Bill about how his team can beat state this year.
Again?
Well, he didn't listen to me last time. Now, Bill, the list of play you've got to watch out for. Now, their quarterback takes the snap back. Right. He hands off to the left half, who goes wide.
Hey, Mom. Linda's putting coffee on her strawberry. Linda put coffee on a strawberry.
All right. You finished your dinner now. You can be excused.
Night, Daddy.
Good night, beautiful.
Listen, you please move up, will you?
Night, Daddy.
Night, Jimmy.
Night.
You be a good boy.
Coffee on a strawberry? Well, I never thought.
Hey, go to bed.
Is there something on your mind?
How can you tell?
Want to break up the huddle?
Now, Bill, this is a play you've really got to look out for.
Off time.
Sit up.
Linda?
Well? Our ages and... Oh, Daddy, Mother, we want to get married. I'm sorry to spring it on you so suddenly, Mother. I suppose it came as an awful surprise.
Really, sweetheart. Congratulations, Bill, and I might add, you're a very lucky young man.
Thank you.
Daddy?
Well, if everybody's through kissing each other, I think there are a few things we ought to iron out. Now, don't get me wrong. Bill, I like you, you know. I'm not against the marriage. Matter of fact, I think it'd be a fine idea. 4 or 5 years.
In 4 or 5 years?
You're both too young to get married right now.
Mr. Donovan, I'm going to marry your daughter. And I'm not going to wait 4 or 5 years to do it. Thanks for dinner. I'll talk to you later.
Good night, Bill.
Bill!
Linda.
Honey, now let them go. Sweet dreams.
Picture of an American retiring for the night, going to bed in comfort, without worries or problems. Well, almost without problems. Linda and Bill may mean momentary worry, but in America there's always tomorrow, with its bright promise. And problems will work out. Somehow things always work out. Now in a few minutes, Jerry Donovan will be asleep. But tonight, instead of the sweet dreams his wife wished him, let's give Jerry a nightmare, a real red nightmare. Now, you remember that Russian town we saw earlier? The town that looked like it belonged in Kansas or Ohio or Vermont? Let's lift that town out of the Soviet Union. Let's superimpose it on Jerry's hometown. And those precious freedoms Jerry so complacently accepts. Let's see how many freedoms Jerry might lose if suddenly he had to live under communist domination.
Hey, Charlie, will you hurry up with the coffee?
All right. I've only got one pair of hands.
Jerry's a little confused. Things seem different now, and they should, because freedom has suddenly vanished.
Your permit number, please.
Permit number? Operator, I don't have a permit. I just want to call my house. I want to talk to my wife.
No personal calls are allowed without a permit from the commissar. You will get off the line, please.
But operator...
Say what gives. Come along, comrade.
Now that you've become acquainted with the enlightened communist system, in contrast to the outdated capitalistic way of life, you are now prepared for the next step of your indoctrination, which will be most difficult. When the moral fiber of the United States weakens and the economy collapses under the pressure of competitive coexistence, you will assume control. You will move into every phase of American political and economic life. It will be your responsibility, comrades, to purge the minds of the reactionary Americans so that they will welcome the enlightened Soviet system and conform without resistance to the dictatorship of the proletariat. Again, my congratulations, comrades. Continue the good work.
Say, could you tell me what...
Yes, comrade. Nothing. Nothing, never mind. Thank God you're all right.
I have something to do.
Gee, Helen, I'm sorry I'm late. Something strange happened. Something very strange. I was standing in the plaza...
Never mind that. But you are disturbing the children. Their meals are to be consumed without interruption.
I don't blame you for being sore, but I'll make it up to you. Tomorrow night we'll have an early dinner at the steakhouse. Then we'll take the kids to the drive-in movie.
That would be quite impossible. Tomorrow night you've been selected to address the Parent-Teachers Committee.
The what? Oh, no, there must be some mistake. They don't want me. What would I talk about? How Jimmy's team lost the Little League championship last year?
Subject of your address has already been selected for you. The theme will be how the new communistic life benefits children.
Now, wait a minute. What if I don't want to talk about that? What if I don't want to talk at all?
I would advise you not to object. Recently, the party learned that you were on the debate team while in school. They were very disturbed that you kept this fact a secret from them. Experienced speakers are needed by the party. They'll make very good use of you.
Sergeant, check the kitchen. You look in the back. I'll be upstairs. Hey!
What is this? Where do you think you're going?
We have no time for explanations. Already we are 15 minutes behind schedule.
I don't care who sent your why. But you're not going to take another step until I see your warrant.
Warrant? We need no warrant. As a member of the Young Communist League, your daughter has volunteered for farm work. She's to be transported immediately. The truck is waiting outside.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get something straight. You say my daughter volunteered?
That is correct. Here's the signature. Requesting transport to the People's Collective.
Signature on that piece of paper is false. And everything you've said is a lie because my daughter would never leave here of her own free will.
Sergeant!
You've got no right to be in this house. I'm going to give you just 10 seconds to get out of here.
Daddy? It's true, Daddy. I did volunteer for farm work.
Linda, why?
The party convinced me that I should free myself of the lingering bourgeois influence of family life. I am ready. Do not interfere. It is for my own good.
And Comrade Donovan, do not think that your deviationist remarks shall be overlooked. They will be reported to the proper authorities.
Helen. Hey, what's this quarter business?
That's today's work, comrade.
Hello, Pete. Having a little trouble. Bertha doesn't seem to be in a working mood.
The light must be fixed immediately. You have a quota to fulfill. If you fail, we'll all be held responsible.
I'm doing the best I can. Quota or no quota, I can't do anything till I get this fixed.
Well, then I advise you work during your lunch hour. The quota must be met, and Comrade Commissar isn't interested in excuses.
Yeah, I overslept. The kids get off to Sunday school all right? Oh, it's a beautiful day. As they get back from Sunday school, why don't we all pile into the car and go over... Hey, what is this? Someone going on a trip?
You could call it a trip. Actually, the children are going away to a state school.
Now, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I don't know what's happened to you or what they've done to change you, but you're not going to send these kids away.
Oh, she's not sending us away. It was our idea. We learned in school that home life does not encourage the growth of the collective character which the party wishes to develop in its young people. It's your fault. You should have spent more time training us to think along party lines. As a member of the Young Pioneers, it will be my duty to report you.
You better listen to me. All of you. I don't want to hear any more talk about state schools and party lines and collective character and deviationism. This is going to be a family again, and I know just where to start. You two are going to Sunday school, and you're going right now.
Mommy, tell her!
No use to argue.
Mom!
This time, I'm going to overrule the party. Come on.
Dad!
They've been poisoning you kids with those
those lies long enough. Now you're really going to find out what the truth is all about.
We tried to tell you, Dad, but you wouldn't listen. There is no more Sunday school. Please take us home now, Daddy. Everybody's looking at us.
Mistake. Somebody made a big mistake. Come on, we're going to leave this straighten out right now. Come on. Come on inside. Come on, Jimmy. What's happened? What have they done?
Keep your voice down, comrade. Otherwise, I shall have to report you.
Who put these displays in here? This is a house of worship.
You are mistaken. This is the People's Museum. And I am warning you once more.
This place is a lie. Everything about it is false. This was not invented by a Russian. The man's name was Bell, Alexander Graham Bell. And he was an American. Get that, comrade. Everything on this table is as phony as the town. The rotten system you call communism.
Comrade Donovan, you're accused of the following crimes against the state: subversion, deviationism, and treason. You've been given this opportunity to make a public confession of your treacherous violation.
Just a minute. This is supposed to be a trial. Who says I'm guilty of anything? Where's your proof?
The state needs no proof. It is up to you to prove your innocence.
How can I prove my innocence if I don't know what I'm accused of? Subversion against whom? Deviationism from what? Treason against what government?
The prisoner has been given his opportunity to confess. I ask now that he be sentenced.
Now, wait a minute. You've got to listen to me. They say I'm guilty of crimes against the state, but it's the state that committed the crimes. They broke into my home without a warrant. Armed soldiers. They took away my daughter. They desecrated a house of worship and replaced religious objects with phony displays, and they called it a museum. They even tried to turn my own kids against me. My wife. Helen, you were there. You know that what I'm saying is true. Tell them.
Mrs. Donovan, this document contains your signed statement. It proves that your husband tried to turn your children against the communist state. Is the statement true?
Yes.
Helen.
Lieutenant Martin, Comrade Kucheznov, Comrade Malenko. These documents contain your signed statements. They prove that Comrade Donovan is guilty of deviationism and treason. I want you to tell the court if these statements are correct. I will ask you each in turn. Comrade Kucheznov.
Yes, the statement is true.
Comrade Malenko.
True.
Lieutenant.
The statement's true.
There's no need to continue this trial. The evidence against the prisoner is overwhelming. I ask now that he be sentenced immediately.
I want to see those statements. And maybe I'll have a few words to say in my own defense.
The prisoner will step back into the box. There is no need to examine the statements of the witnesses. The prisoner stands condemned by his own words. He has challenged the supreme authority of the state. He has questioned its practices and its decisions. And by these actions, he has proved himself to be a dangerous enemy to the proletariat. And he must be treated as such, as an ugly remnant of a diseased bourgeois class. He must be eradicated before the contagion can spread. Comrade Donovan, you are hereby sentenced to be shot. Comrade Donovan.
Comrade Donovan, do you know why you're here?
Yes?
You have any last requests?
Yes. We really need these? I don't think I'll be going anywhere.
Nevertheless, I'm afraid they're necessary. Comrade Donovan, you've been convicted of crimes against the supreme communist government. Being an enemy of the state, you must be liquidated. I have been commissioned to carry out your sentence.
What, no firing squad?
I'm afraid not. However, as a last favor from the government, you are hereby granted one final chance to confess your crimes. If you wish, a recorder will be summoned to take down your statement.
I have a statement to make, all right, but you can deliver it. You just tell your government that someday its own people are going to get wise to it. Someday there's going to be enough holes in that iron curtain that all of your people will be able to escape to freedom. You'll never be able to build a wall strong enough to hold them. One of my own countrymen once said, you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Believe me, you communists can't keep fooling the entire world. You can't even keep fooling your own people. Because the news about communism is getting around. That it's only another word for slavery.
Don't worry, Jerry. That bullet will never reach you. Because it's time to bring you back from your red nightmare. What you have seen is not entirely fiction. Greater brutality is taking place right now in countries which have been swallowed up by the communist machine. We know that Jerry is waking. Let's see if his dream has impressed him.
Helen?
Yes, darling.
Helen?
Honey, the kids polished off the eggs. Would you mind cereal?
Cereal will be fine, just fine.
I'll get it in just
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Daddy, will you buy me a new space helmet?
A what?
He's gone from wide open spaces to outer space.
Oh, he is he? Yeah, I guess we can put you in orbit all right. You get a space helmet.
Hey, Mom! Mom!
Hello there.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Mr. Donovan. Bill? If you two kids don't have this car in shape by now, I don't think you ever will. Well, if you'd like to talk some more about that marriage business, you better catch me while I'm in a good mood.
Oh, Daddy. We've got something to tell you.
Now, you haven't run off.
No, that we haven't done. But we have decided to wait. Not 5 years, mind you. But at least I've finished my hitch in the service.
That's a wise decision, Bill. Yes, indeed, I think that's a very wise decision. How about some breakfast?
Good idea.
Jerry knows now, so he'll never forget it. Responsibilities are a privilege, an inherent American right, the strength of our nation. The bright hopes of a free world are founded on the dedication of individual Americans. People who guarantee freedom by standing ready to fight against aggression, against the communist attempts at world enslavement. Freedom is not hereditary. It must be earned. Freedom has a price, and its price is vigilance. Its price is responsibility, not only of government, but of every citizen who salutes our flag. Those who serve as a part of our nation's armed might, and those who have served, they guarantee freedom's continued existence. Freedom. No single word in all the languages of mankind has come to mean so much. Freedom to enjoy the simple things of life in the circle of family and friends. freedom to work at a vocation of our choosing, to vote in open elections for the candidate we believe best qualified, to come, to go as we please, freedom to own property, to enjoy the priceless heritage of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, to marry and raise a family with belief in the dignity of the human spirit, to study in the field of our choice, to speak our beliefs, to worship God. These freedoms that spell America, they represent a way of life that has become the farthest advancement of mankind on this planet. To prevent communism from consuming the entire free world, there stands but one man. That man is you.
Some very astute observations by you, the viewers. First, let me say thank you to William for buying some coffee for AV Geeks. Coffee is what makes AV Geeks roll every day. But yes, Jack Webb is kind of playing a John Birch Society version of Rod Serling. And there is, yes, another film that I would have been looking for on 16mm that I would love to have in my collection. It's called If the Footmen Tire You, and it was based on the sermons of Estes Perkel, who was a evangelical minister who also did The Burning Hell in another film about heaven, which I can't remember. I have a copy of The Burning Hell on 16, and I was going to get a copy of If the Footmen Tire You, but it was $600. And that's a lot of money, even for me, for a film that is basically showing, from a Christian perspective, what happens to Christians when the Soviets would take over the United States, and it does not bode well. And honestly, it was the goriest Christian film that I have ever seen until Passion of the Christ came out, and that kind of pushed it over the edge. But yeah, If the Footmen Tire You, that's where, if you like Negative Land, Christianity is stupid, communism is good, is from the If the Footmen Tire You record. So, thanks everybody for joining us today. I guess I'll show that film strip tomorrow. Everybody have a good rest of the day, and I'll be back tomorrow and Thursday. I'm still working on this special idea. We'll see if it bears fruit. But everybody have a good rest of your day, and we will see you again soon. Please take care of yourself. Please rewind. Love each other. And we will see you again soon. Take care.